Welcome to the Worldwide Cannabis Report, sponsored by CV Sciences, the makers of Plus CBD. Today we'll be hearing news from Malta, South Africa, and Ireland. In Malta, the first cannabis club passed all its inspections and finally opened its doors to start distributing cannabis to its members. It was back in the end of 2021 that Malta became the first EU country to allow for the legal possession, cultivation, and use of cannabis by adults. But then it was a long process to get the regulations in place that these clubs would have to fulfill. Now, these clubs are technically known as Cannabis Harm Reduction Associations, and this society had to go through all of its mandatory laboratory tests, including phytocannabinoid profiles, microorganism analytes, bacteria, yeast, and mold counts, mycotoxins, trace heavy metal analysis, water activity, moisture content, and filth and foreign material tests. In an interview with the head of the KDD Society, he said that it was a stressful application process. Currently, there are 6 other organizations who are approved but not yet distributing cannabis, and hopefully Malta's program will continue to advance and allow adults to use our favorite plant. Then in South Africa, an interesting ruling from the Department of Justice on the military and the use of cannabis by military members. If you remember, it was back in 2018 that the Constitutional Court said it is unconstitutional to not allow people to use cannabis in the privacy of their own homes. But the question was, does that also apply to people in the South African National Defense Force? And the Department of Justice just came out and said, yes, it does. They are constitutionally privileged to be able to use cannabis in the privacy of their bases in wherever place they are living. And so even if you're living in a military base in South Africa, you are allowed to consume cannabis there because it is your private residence. So while South Africa continues to work towards a system of regulations around cannabis, right now it is simply allowed to be used, including by members of the military, as long as they're in their own home. Finally, in Ireland, a disappointing delay. This is Gino Kenny. He seems really cool. I've been hearing about him for a year or two now. He's a member of the People Over Profits Party in Ireland, and he introduced a bill that would allow adults to possess up to 7 grams of cannabis. And it was moving its way forward until just recently there was a vote, and now it's going to be paused for 9 months so a committee can look at it. Always with another committee. But Kenny continues to push forward, and he seems to have a lot of support from the Irish people. That's the Worldwide Cannabis Report for this week. We hope you'll join us next time, and we hope that sanity continues to grow around our favorite plant.